The young linebackers, how would you describe the way they've adjusted, given the litany of injuries and guys that have had to be plugged in, enjoy being plugged in, but
Yeah.
probably weren't necessarily expecting it?
No, they've had to grow up really fast, and it's a great group. They got great football instincts and great minds, so that's been helpful. And they're work hard guys, so we've tried to adjust our stuff to them and allow them to be who they are, and they've done a great job for us.
And what's the value of having walk-ons in the state, filling those depth spots, the hunger that they bring, the talent that they bring as well, it means, sometimes it means a little bit more.
Yeah, I think anytime you have players on your team from your home state, it means more. I think anybody, staff members, it doesn't make any difference when this is your home state and your name's on the university. Why? I think it's really a critical factor in guys wanting to do well, and they have great support, from Cyclone Nation and from their hometowns and their families, and so it's all really, really important to them, and we're blessed. They've done a great job.
Go ahead, John.
John, I think when you instituted the stack in 2017, correct me if I'm wrong, it was still more of a novelty. Gary Patterson had used it all those years. How prevalent is it now? Because it seems like a lot of teams use the concept.
Yeah, I think we started in 2017, Dennis. We kind of got to a point where it was out of necessity, I think, for ourselves here in our program, and really no one was doing kind of the way we were doing it with the three high safeties. We built it with the structure that it was simplistic, that people could learn it, and it's paying some of those dividends now, even in 2024. You're able to to teach younger guys how to play and where to fit and where they're lining up and all those things. So you see it a lot. You see it in some of the Sunday games. You're seeing it in the NFL a little bit. And other than that, I don't know a whole, I don't get to see everyone, but a lot of high school folks have come in here, and a lot of people are using bits and pieces of it. So it's fun to watch. I'm most concerned about our guys and our defense, but it's been interesting to watch for sure. Even for our own growth. It's been, we were an old odd 50 team, I guess when I was a young GA and back in the 80s, and that's probably the closest thing to it. So it's kind of, I still feel like sometimes I'm still learning it as we go. I still feel like there's pieces we're adding and doing and different things, and I'm blessed that we have a great staff and players that accept it all.
With running that 3-3-5, how big has it been with the young linebackers that have been pushed into action? How important has the play been of like Dom, Orange, Singleton, and even behind them with like Freemer and Verdon getting a lot of tackles?
For sure. You always talk about, and I know Coach does, we talk about our A players getting A's, and our veteran guys have to play their best football, and that's always a given. But when you lose some of those veterans in the middle, your guys in the front and the back both got to play better, and those guys have stepped up and played well. We're a long way from being I think where we want to be. I don't think we've played great defense. I think we've played really good at times. We've played really hard at times, and I think we're still a work in progress for our group.
I was starting to talk about UCF. Obviously, a lot of their offense comes from the running game. Obviously, you guys see experienced teams that have been run heavy. What have you kind of seen from that group? Obviously, RJ Harvey's.
Yeah, they're. I think they're. I don't know. You guys probably know a little bit. Maybe fourth or so in the country in rushing offense, and top 15 in total offense, and so very skilled. They're big up front. They have all the parts. They're big up front. They get bodies on you. The guys in the back end are very talented. The tailbacks are as good as anyone we've played, and maybe down through the stretch here. Quarterbacks all can run the football, which are always a concern, and they can throw it. And you got wideouts that are running all over the place. So we've got our work cut out for us. It's kind of been since Arkansas State, we've kind of been seeing this style of offense. This, it's a lot of skilled people and quarterbacks that can run and move and athletic, and it creates problems for defenses, and this group is as talented as we'll see.
You said you don't think you guys have played great defense yet. I don't know that you've given up a touchdown in the second half that's mattered to winning or losing a game. What does great look like if that's...
Well, I mean, I guess great great for me. I'm kind of probably the perfectionist, the bad guy in the building, but I just think that we've got a lot of missed assignments we're still having. We're missing tackles out in space that would eliminate some things. We've not been very good in situational football, third downs. Last week, the opening drive, we got 2 chances to get off the field. We do not. We've been I think we've been playing extremely hard. We have laid our hearts out there. I mean, let me say that. Like, our guys have laid their hearts out on that field. And that gives you the best chance of any scheme or anything else that you can do. But along the way here, we've got to improve playing better football. And I think situationally, I think that's the real key. We let one get away in the red zone last couple weeks. We've been really pretty decent down there. And I just think some of the fundamental stuff, and our job on defense is to get the ball back. We were blessed last week, got a couple takeaways, and those are priceless in college football or any other football. And, I just think situational awareness, and we've got to get ourselves off the field. We've got to get our guys on the offense to, get them the football more than we're getting it to them. So we've got some areas for sure that we've got to improve, but I'm don't misunderstand me. I'm proud of the hearts that get laid out there on Saturdays. We got guys taped up and banged up and filling in for guys, and you look out there sometimes and it's wild. But I'm really proud of this team, this group, but we can still play better defense.
In that vein, I mean, when Ebo and Ellis go off on that first drive, are you like, how do we manage this?
Yeah, you really don't have time to think of that. You don't think of that until you're on the bus, like who and how. You just get the next guys, and our guys have done a great job of preparing themselves. And I think it goes back to Dennis's question about the defense itself. It allows our guys to go in and play, and we have to do a great job of managing it, of what we're doing, what we're asking them to do. But that's our jobs. We can do that, and I think it's allowed them to go out there and play free and let players play. And that's kind of what this whole thing's been about.
This may be building off a point you just made, but 2 straight games now where maybe the first drive or 2 is not your strongest, but then you adjust and you kind of clamp things down. Why has that kind of worked for you?
I really wish we'd play at the beginning and get off the field on third downs, and we just have not. But I think that's also the people that we're playing. We're playing some really good football teams. I mean, we're playing teams that are having success, that can move the football on offense, and we're going to play another one this Saturday. And they're out there playing too and competing. So I think it's a little bit of both. And I surely would like to get the first third down stop and get off the field and get our guys the ball. But like I said, I think that's the part that I'm probably the proudest of. Our guys, they don't flinch, they keep playing, and they believe in each other. More so than anything, and that gives us the best chance to try to get things fixed as we go along.
Do you think sometimes the concept of, hey, this team is really good at halftime adjustments can be a little bit overblown, or do you put some stock into that things can really change at halftime?
Oh, I think it's a little bit. Well, you can change, you can fix stuff. I think the iPads help you a ton. I mean, what's happening now with the iPads on the field, and I think you can make some good adjustments. I think, the biggest thing is you don't find, when something happens, you can fix a problem, or, man, you don't run yourself out of a defensive call, perhaps. Man, it didn't work. Well, why didn't it work? It was a bad schematically, or, man, we were a gap away or whatever, and so you can go back and run that defense. And I know in the past sometimes we might run something we put in during the week and call it once and it didn't work. Well, then it's out. We can't do that. And that's not always the case. It may have been we may have been hair off one place or another. So you can make adjustments. I think a lot more are being made probably now than they used to be made. I think the thing you probably end up doing, speaking for myself, is probably throwing some of the stuff out and finding the things that really work for your guys that they're having success with, and who's in the game. And that's part of it too.
Jontez came away with another interception. How important has it been for a position group that had a lot of competition going into the season to be as consistent as it has?
Well, it really helps us a ton. You know, those guys on the edges, and Tez has played well. And as Coach has said several times, he's had a great winter conditioning, played great in spring ball, played great in summer ball, trained like crazy. And, you know, you're seeing the fruits of his labor right now. So it's really critical for us.
We talked a lot about the change by necessity of the stack in 2017, but I don't know if we've ever asked you how confident you were that it would have the positive impact it did and as quickly as it did and then consistently down the road.
Yeah. You know, I think we believed in it for sure, or we wouldn't have kind of done it. But I think my first sense of confidence was coming off the field. It was J.D. Wagner. I remember coming off the field and, man, can we play this defense again? This is awesome. And you know you got something. You know, so when the kids love it and they buy into it, the rest of it then becomes on your part as a coach to figure out what you can and can't do out of it. And, you know, I don't know that I don't know. Once you get into something, you guys know it's no different than you all. Once you get into something, you just roll. Like, you just go with it. You don't ever stop and think about, boy, this or that. And, man, you're just trying to find the next answer for the next test. And that's what I was alluding to earlier. I'm not sure, even with some of the stuff, I still have all the answers to some of the tests. And I think you're still working through it.
How important is eye discipline this weekend against UCF's rushing attack, because they seem to like to do misdirection?
Yeah, they do. Great question, and it's been very similar to the last. Again, like I said, since Arkansas State. I mean, you're seeing a lot of the RPO, the run pass option stuff. They do a great job. The backs are really deep. They get the ball deep in their process. All the RPO stuff happens slowly, which makes everybody on edge, and so you have to do a great job of being disciplined and understanding who's fitting where. You know, we talk about defense as always knowing where your help is, and it's critical when you play a team like this. You have to have edges to your defense. You have to have a guy on top and a guy capping both sides, and you just have to be sharp. You have to be on point, and I think that's a great challenge for our guys, you know, moving into this game. Similar to what we have seen, however, so it helps. But this is a little bit different than what we have seen.
Now, you talked about how you guys are using the iPads to make adjustments. Are you seeing or sensing how opposing offenses are trying to use them against you?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. You know, I guess you'd probably have to, but I think you're seeing, man, they're going back to a play, or, you know, you're seeing if it didn't work, you may see it again and later on, even though it didn't, and you realize, you know, man, had they done this, just like on defense, had they done this, man, that's a really good play. We got to fix this before it happens again. So you do see some of that stuff for sure, but everybody's using it to the good. I would guess you wouldn't find one college coach that doesn't think it's helping them a ton, because it is. And I think it helps take some pressure off the players. You know, they come to the sideline, man, they're in the heat of a battle in front of 70,000 people, 80,000 people, and, you know, man, 6 guys blocked me. You know, well, you know, no, they didn't, and here's what's happening to you, and here's how you can fix it, and we're good. We're all good. Just read your keys and do your thing. So I think it's priceless, you know, to say.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate y'all.